Good morning. We're down at Atlas Audio Video in Victoria, British Columbia with my friend Austin. Austin is going to give us a little tour of two turntables today. Both of these turntables are going to receive full reviews in Audiophilia, probably early spring of 2023. We're doing two turntables. The story is about the Thorens TD 1600, which retails for $39.99. This is US, including the tone arm. And an oldie but a goodie, actually a brand new turntable from an old manufacturer, another German manufacturer, Dual CS618Q manual HiFi turntable, which retails for a very reasonable $12.99 US. That includes the arm and a cartridge, and the cartridge is the very, very fine Ortofon Blue, retails for about $200 US by itself. We have a lengthy review on Audiophilia, so if you want to go to the magazine and search the review out. It's hard to keep in stock because it's such a popular moving magnet cartridge. So, Austin, thank you for having us down today, here in beautiful, rainy Victoria today, on a Saturday morning. Taking some time for our Audiophilia channel viewers. Let's talk a little bit about the Dual turntable first.
Yeah, the Dual turntable was just introduced. We actually had it for our Fall Tech Event show. It was the first time that it had been publicly seen out here, and it had only been at the Toronto Audio Show prior to that, so it was really a big first for us. The turntable has fully electronic speed control, does 33, 45, and 78. Of course, if you're doing 78, you'll need a different version of the cartridge and a head shell to contain it.
We've reviewed that too, the Ortofon 78 cartridge.
Yes, yeah, we sell a lot of them, and what I like about those cartridges are that they all use the same tracking force, so it's a very easy swap. You're not having to rebalance the arm every time. On the tone arm, it's a fully gimbaled tone arm design. The bearings seem to be very tight, which is what we expect at this level of a turntable. It is a direct drive, which a lot of the dual models are belt drive, but this particular one is a direct drive. Obviously, a good competitor to Technics SL 1500C. Heavy platter.
Maybe you could show us the platter. It's not insignificant.
We were a bit surprised here. Let's see if we can get this off. It's also very, very tight fitting. So,
see if we can get into the shot. Just bring it down. There we go.
Yeah. Anyways, obviously, nicely machined, very thick, and very, very tight tolerance to the center spindle. They use a rubber mat. I quite often change and try out mats, but I've found with quite a lot of these turntables that the rubber mats are the right choice in some cases. The plinth is, in this case, a walnut plinth, but it's also available in a piano gloss black. And as a third, slightly cheaper option, there is a vinyl black ash wrap that is available as well too.
What color is that one?
This one's the walnut.
Walnut's very nice. You know, Dual, old German company, and it's been through about 10 different iterations. They finally, I think it's 2007, I researched it for the review. They got back to making turntables in their hometown. It's in Germany, in the Black Forest, and they're making some really super high-end turntables. This is $12.99 for the turntable, direct drive, and doesn't have it's an automatic lift.
Auto lift at the end. So if you happen to walk away from it, or not off to sleep at the end of a long night,
you're not going to wear down your very rare Ortofon Blue.
Yeah, or wake up to a cartridge skating the label. So.
That's right. No, it's a very interesting turntable, and again, the $12.99 US price is very reasonable. And the US has had its greatest vinyl sales in a month in many, many years. I think it was 2.1 million vinyls records were sold in the US. I think it was in 1 week. I don't think it's 1 month. It's a lot. And there's no excuses anymore. $12.99, we know on the internet, that's a lot of money for many people, and that's absolutely fine. Save your pennies. It's worth it. But for guys getting into vinyl, there's no excuses anymore. You can this is pretty well, I mean, I know it's set up, quote, at the factory. Does it come as is?
It's well set up at the factory. Anytime we get models in, I'm always doing, especially when we do a brand launch, I will go through those first turntables that we're unboxing with a fine-tooth comb, make sure that the cartridge alignment is done right, and just kind of go over the nuts and bolts of the thing and make sure that the build quality is there.
It's like it's like when we're doing tuning in orchestras, and I think someone's a little bit out of tune, and usually a sax player will say to me, "It was tuned at the factory."
Yes.
Yeah, we don't do that. So everything needs a little bit of tweaking.
Yeah, this is fabulous out of the box. So every one that we've looked at, all the they have some entry level ones as well too. The cartridges are properly aligned, and given records, well, certainly in Canada you can be spending $40-50 routinely on a record.
That's right.
For the good stuff. You don't want a poorly set up turntable.
Well, I'm looking forward to bringing what the sound is like to our readers, especially at that price point. It'll be interesting to see what the final results are. Okay, let's turn to the second turntable, the tale of two turntables. This is the Thorens, or as they say in, it was originally a Swiss company, then it's German, who knows, Thorens. This is the 1600, part of a much more expensive turntable, no cartridge with it, but a very good arm, $39.99. Today, when I review it for the sound, it's got the Goldring Ethos cartridge, which is, well, I won't give away the secrets, but I won't give away the lead, but it's a fine cartridge. How much is the cartridge Canadian?
In Canadian, it's $2,099.
Yeah, so it's probably about $1,400 or $1,500 US. But if you're researching a cartridge at that price, other than the Pure Fidelity Stratos, which I just reviewed, which is a fantastic cartridge, check out the Goldring Ethos. Very, very good. Okay, so maybe we can talk a little bit about this very fine turntable.
Yeah, the Thorens is a full suspension turntable as opposed to the dual, which was your rigid plinth turntable.
Could you give it a tap?
Yeah, so we've got a proper 3-point suspension. Just a little bit of a background history. I spent many years as a Lynn dealer, probably owned 7 or 8 different versions of that product. And they require routine maintenance in order to keep them and working at their best. Thorens kind of took a slightly different approach with the suspension. The suspension on this one is, rather than hanging from the top plate, is compressing those springs from the bottom. They have a tensioning wire around the springs to stop the motor from torquing the springs. It's definitely some improvements over the design, and I was quite taken back when I did a direct AB against about a $22,000 Lynn, and with an ECOS tone arm, which is arguably better than this one. However, both had the exact same cartridge on it, and it was a very slim margin of difference between the two tables, and I was so taken back with that I actually bought the Thorens. So I own
really?
this. I own this table as you see it at home. It's my table.
No
now.
bias in the review, I promise.
No bias in the review, but yes, I was as stunned as any, and I ended up buying the table just because for a fraction of the price of the other table, it was.
When Austin was actually auditioning this table, I came down and have a listen. And Austin said, "What table do you want to put on?" I said, "Well, of course the Rega 8, because I'm a Rega fanboy. I'm, Apple fanboy, Rega fanboy, BMW. I don't usually wave off those tables." And we listened to the Rega 8. It was wonderful, as the reviews say. Then he put the Thorens on, and I'm going to write about the differences in the review. So you should read the review, but it was quite surprising. Anyway, anything else about the table?
So again, electronic speed control. In this case, we have an external controller, and 3345. It's belt driven, of course. Has a 2-piece platter, very typical of the early Thorens designs, but with a much greater degree of refinement. It's available in a piano gloss black finish or the gloss walnut wood plinth that you see on this particular one. It does have fine adjustment for the speed control, so you can really dial it in properly. I have done some experimenting. They do like the lightweight rigid stands like what we're using there. It wasn't a good candidate for the Zazen, so it just didn't kind of work with having suspension in suspension, as it were. So yeah, stick with the rigid lightweight surfaces in terms of its positioning. The table also features both RCA and XLR outputs on the back, so that allows you to choose a cable of your choosing. I've got AudioQuest Angels on mine. If you are fortunate enough to have a phono stage that has XLR inputs, you can also go to town with the XLR. And there's some absolutely fabulous cables now, especially in the AudioQuest Mythical series for that. So anyways, nothing but good things to say about this table. I've been living with one for about 15 months now and just absolutely loving it. So.
Well, thank you very much, Austin. If you're ever in Victoria, there's two great high-end shops. One is called Soundhounds, and the other one is Atlas. We've done a video on the Audiophile channel. Have a look at it. Wonderful place, Atlas. If you need, I mean, they have televisions and everything else here, which is great. But they have a wonderful high-end selection of gear, and even entry-level stuff. And they have the expertise of all the staff, and the owner, William. However, if you want to speak to the maestro, Austin is an amazing salesperson and setup person and musician and composer and a jack of all trades but a master of many. So we're very lucky, and thank you very much, Austin, for having us down today, and we'll see you in the next video.